Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session. In this presentation, we will talk about social learning and active learning classroom through pedagogy, space, and technology framework. My name is Meina Zhu. I'm assistant professor at Wayne State University. This is my collaborator, Mari. She will introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Mario Başton. I'm a PhD candidate at Indiana University's Instructional Systems Technology Department. Meina and I worked for the Learning Technologies Division of Indiana University. I have been still actively working for that unit. We study innovative space design and technology-enhanced active learning spaces. And now Meina will talk about our perspective in this project.
Thank you, Mari. So our perspective is that space design has an important influence on shaping technical, psychological, and social practice. So in this study, we examined instructor and students' perceptions of learning in active learning classroom and the interaction among instructor and students. So active learning classroom here refers to the classroom equipped with a variety of tools to support knowledge construction, such as movable tables and chairs, and collaborative seating, actual working space, whiteboard, and shared screens. Active learning classroom include some design attributes that are specifically intended to promote collaboration, flexibility, interaction among students and instructors, student engagement, and problem-solving skills. So this is an example of figure 1 is an active learning classroom example from Indiana University. The framework that we use in this study is the Pedagogy Space and Technology framework developed by David and his colleagues in 2008. It highlights the significance of the relationship between the pedagogical, technological, and spatial aspects of teaching and learning space. As you can see in this figure 2, the three elements were interrelated with each other. For example, the technology can enhance pedagogy, and pedagogy could be enlarged by technology. To address the purpose of this study, this study used a case study design. The data sources include classroom observation, classroom recording, semi-structured interviews with students, and the instructor. The context of this study is a graduate level face-to-face course during 2018 spring and fall semester. The purpose of the course was to introduce the critical qualitative inquiry method. So the participants, the students were the 13 students enrolled in the class. They were doctoral students from diverse programs in the School of Education. One researcher observed the course for 2 semesters and also video recorded the active learning classroom activities in fall 2018. Each classroom recording lasted from 1 hour to 2.5 hours. We also conducted face-to-face semi-structured interview with students and the instructor. So to analyze the interview data, we used the semantic analysis. We coded the 6 interviews transcripts individually and then discussed any discrepancies to reach consensus on category and themes. Table 1 shows the themes that we finalized. On the left side, you can see from the instructor interview, we found the 3 themes. First is emotional and social aspects of active learning classroom. Second is the physical aspects of the active learning classroom. And third is challenges. From student interviews, we found instructional activities, advantage of active learning classroom, and disadvantage of active learning classroom, 3 themes. For video analysis, we use content analysis. We follow the ALCs and his collaborators framework. In this video analysis, the categories of video analysis could include time, interaction, visuals, location, duration, and instructional activities, as you can see in figure 3. So the time refers to the first occurrence of a particular event in the classroom. It is stated in the format of hour, minute, and second. The interaction is the reading description of the activities taking place at a particular time. These descriptions are the qualitative descriptions of the scene as seen by the researchers. Visuals are the screenshots that best describe indicate interaction. Location, we categorize 17 fixed values based on the layout of the classroom, as you can see in figure 4. Duration is the time spent between the two consecutive interactions. It was calculated by seconds. Instructional activities refers to the class activities that were implemented by the instructor. Murray will introduce the findings and the conclusions of this study.
Thank you so much, Meina. To answer our first research questions, which is to understand instructor and student perception of active learning classrooms compared to the traditional classroom, we interviewed with both students and the instructor, as Meina explained, and for the instructor interview, we found that the emotional, social aspect as well as physical aspect of the classroom are among the positive about the active learning classrooms reported by the instructor. For example, emotional ones included equal relationship, a sense of community and accessibility. On the other hand, physical components like classroom size, color, round tables, whiteboard, technology, lights, windows, etc. were the some positive aspects of the active learning classroom. Also, instructors reported some challenges such as students' tendency to sit at the same spots and also match with the same people in the group activities. Also, difficult to see everybody's faces were among the challenges. As for the students, they also reported some positive perceptions regarding the furniture, flexibility, communication, and power outlets. Also, they mentioned that difficulty to hear other people and lack of windows as the challenges in the active learning classrooms. In the next slide, we will see the findings of the video data. From week 4 to week 10, we recorded their movements. For example, in this video, we analyzed the frequency and percentages of the locations visited by the instructor in each week. As you can see from the table, the highlighted numbers with red color, it shows that high table number 1 is most frequently visited table by the instructor from week 4 to week 10. In a similar way, in high table number 2 also was frequently visited by the instructor, and whiteboard also used mostly in week 9. And in the next slide, we will see the percentage and frequency of the time spent by the instructor. This table shows us the instructor spent most of the class time near the whiteboard. It is around 7,000 seconds. It equals to 1.9 hour, and it is followed by low table number 2 and low table number 1. And the instructor typically used the whiteboard for interactive lectures, which I will explain in the following slides. We look at the instructional activities like checking the prior knowledge, group activity, distributing handout, discussions, etc. Among all these categories, interactive lecturing, which is a conversation style shaped by students' responses, was the most prevalent activity in all weeks. This can be interpreted as a shared responsibility for learning. The instructor provides the opportunity for students to decide the flow of the lecture. In the next slide, we can conclude that the physical space in active learning classrooms influences both the social and emotional states of the students, and the instructor positively compared to the traditional classroom. The active learning provides affordances for small group activities, equal relationships, learning community, accessibility, and based on these findings, we have seen some similarities about the educational alliance concept suggested by Bepler and Walker in 2014. They theorized that active learning classrooms can alter in class dynamics in two basic ways. The first one is breaking down the hierarchies. The second one is fostering greater affinity among students. Therefore, we can, from the mutual respect or shared responsibility, we can see the breakdown of these hierarchies and mutual responsibility for learning in this active learning settings. Thank you so much for listening us.
Thank you.